If you have a fear of parasites or bugs, I would highly recommend that you click off this video, but if not, let's begin. COVID-19 was the most devastating moment in the recent years of 2019 that caused a global epidemic where a lot of people were panicking, a lot of people were dying, and it was pretty devastating. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty terrifying when I first heard it because, it's like a race to find the cure or vaccination. So it was pretty devastating when I first heard this in the news in my car. And while that's scary, there's something that's a little more scarier. See, China, they had the virus, the COVID-19, because of a certain, like, eating of bats, but apparently there's another one. I am not a big fan of parasites, but I do like bugs, but not parasites. There's a difference between parasites and bugs. Bugs, sure, they crawl around and do whatever, but parasites, they're meant to harm you. And some of the parasites that I learned that is terrifying to me aren't usually from humans, they're from animals. Like, for example, this one parasite where it replaces a fish's tongue and becomes the new host, where the fish will eventually die. And this another one where another parasite goes into a caterpillar's eyes, I believe, or antennas, and then it intentionally makes it really bright so eagles and hawks can eat it. And that's just very terrifying to me. And don't get me started with the zombie virus with the ants where they have to climb higher and they will eventually be taken over by a fungi. But terrifyingly, there is this new virus that is my waking nightmare, and it's starting in China again, like, give them a break, and it's terrifying. It's honestly one of my worst nightmares. It's a parasite that goes into your brain and does a lot of nasty things. The first patient that was infected with this new parasite was during 2019, which was coincidentally the year of COVID-19. So it started at Jinsu in June, and this virus was dubbed wetland virus, or WELL for short. The 61-year-old patient was facing severe headache, fever, vomiting, and doing it for approximately 5 days after visiting a park near a wetland in Mongolia, and it is in the region northern of China. The 61-year-old patient gave a potential reason as to why he was feeling sick. He was attacked by ticks at the park, and unfortunately the antibiotics didn't really work or didn't really ease the symptoms. According to the analysis of his DNA and RNA, the man has had a severe virus that has never been seen before, and apparently it's carried by several ticks, and it's quite deadly. So far, the only way of getting this disease is if this particular tick has this virus, it bites you, or it gets in your bodily fluids, or if an animal bites you that has this virus in particular. According to the article, with people with hundreds of patients with a fever that has a tick bite, apparently 20 were presented with being positive. 3 were from other tick diseases, while the 17 were from WELV. Despite the more damaging and dangerous symptoms, apparently no one has died so far. According to my data and the making of this video, no one has died so far. Only people had like headaches and fevers, but no one has died so far. But these are the potential symptoms that could evolve into. But the more concerning note is that when they tested on mice, they found that the infection can travel through organs, but more damning is the brain. And this can be very dangerous, it's very upsetting to hear about this. Thankfully, China is taking note of this, and they're checking everyone's medical records and health so that they don't start another COVID pandemic, and I'm glad they're taking note because the last time they didn't do very well. My gosh, they spread it all over the globe. Don't worry guys, it's just a couple hundreds of infected people, and they're not even feeling like severe infections yet, or symptoms I should say, because they're just feeling like headaches and fevers and all that, just those, not like they're feeling like I don't know, blood clotting or anything like that. It's just like headaches and fevers so far. If you live in the West, you're relatively more safe, but if you live East or potentially in China, I will be praying for you guys because my goodness, am I very terrified of parasites, and I don't want to see this spreading all over again, and then we have another pandemic, and then we're all in our houses and blah blah blah. People are gonna go panicking, and they're gonna live in feardom, and I don't want to see that again. But with that being said, this is the end of this video, and hopefully this will all be solved and we'll all get the cure or vaccination. And please don't be racist to any Chinese people. I had a lot of friends who were Chinese that were facing severe racism because of COVID-19. But with that being said, this is this video, and I hope you guys stay safe, stay well, and with that being said, I'm going back to the graves and tell you more stories like this. Goodbye.